welcome to Tazama. Have you heard of this statement? Tupatane Archives. The National Archive building is one of Nairobi's landmarks. But are people aware of what's inside? Tupatane Archives.
Well, I've seen a few old records.
Tazama today is coming to you from the Kenya National Archives. We now join Mr. Moirore, who's a librarian at the archives. Tell us about the archives.
Archives concerns records that are deemed valuable. Some of these records are artifacts, we have publications, we have films, we have slides. This building was actually built as a bank, and between the 70s it belonged to Kenya Commercial Bank. Ownership reverted to the building in 1979 when the archives was moved from Jogoo House to this building now.
Now, every time I hear the word commercial from a tout, I'll always think about 1970. Now, as we look at the archive, look at our first story.
In Mombasa County, Aga Khan Development Network, in conjunction with Concordia University in Canada, have introduced e-learning through a software called Abracadabra.
Groovy! That was the right record.
Abracadabra means a balanced reading approach designed for children to achieve best results for all. And it's a software that helps young children to read English. All the 4 skills in English. It has the reading, writing, comprehension, listening.
Find the hidden disco ball. The closer you get, the louder the beat.
It's always good to have content that is interactive, that uses multimedia approaches, that calls through the various senses that the child has.
Various schools in Mombasa have embraced Abracadabra, one of them being Central Girls Primary School. It is a public school and uses the software for learning from nursery to class 5.
I've been in Mombasa for quite some time, and the English is a problem. The performance wasn't good. Children had difficulties in reading.
Joyce Kio and her class is one of the set of teachers and pupils who were trained on how to use the software in teaching and learning, together with 5 others from other schools in Mombasa.
Since this Abra was introduced to us, the children can express themselves, they can talk, they can write, they can speak, they can argue. Which one word have you loved? Huh? League. Good. You have not finished the first level. You have finished. Which is the correct one?
Press the play button to start.
Let's have a party. Find the hidden disco ball.
Strong.
So it can be used for early learners, but we also have those students who are older but have problems or difficulties in reading. They can also use Abracadabra.
Abra teaches via digital stories and interactive activities while offering support in skills such as reading, comprehension, and writing. This enables the teachers to find activities with ease and pupils to understand easily. Abracadabra can be used in any computer because it is a web-based application. This software has enabled pupils to understand other subjects easily out of the new vocabulary they have learned.
Kwa majina naitwa Rukia Muhammad, niko class 4. Napenda subject ya English kwa sababu if we will be in college or from one, hiyo itakuwa maneno ambayo tutakuwa tukispeak, itakuwa no Kiswahili. Ilivyokuwa niko class 2, walikuwa napenda subject ya maths and science and also English sometimes. Kwa sababu mimi ilikuwa hapo bado sija understand this lesson is English and this is maths, but when we were in class 3 our teacher told us English it's like this and maths is like this. Ambayo napenda sana ni vocabulary ESL. Manake hiyo ndio inatufundisha sana hapo ndio tunaweza kupata new words. Performance yangu nikiangalia ile class 3 na class na sahi naona ambayo imepanda ni sahi.
Rukia is one of the pupils who were taken to Aga Khan Academy for training of how to use laptops and abracadabra.
Since they are cartoons, the children cannot forget.
I love Julie na abracadabra.
So hii paka inaitwa nani?
Leo.
Hiyo ndio Leo.
Which record has the word?
Abracadabra na ambayo nampenda sana ni Julie na Leo, manake au ndo sana wanaweza kupata hapo wakiongea, waki-active na hivi. Hiyo ndo nilipenda.
Concordia University from Canada has donated laptops to Central Girls Primary School with the software readily installed. The pupils share the computers in 5 or 6 groups while in class.
We have to follow the education curriculum. You just introduce the lesson. If it is vocabulary, you introduce it. Then you check from the abracadabra ebook, which has a lot of literature in it, which comprehends with it what you have taught. Then you link it. You let the children expand their vocabularies from that basic one which you have done.
This software is found in the following primary schools: Ganjoni, Star of the Sea, St. Augustine, Makupa, Bruhania, Aga Khan Primary and Aga Khan Academy in Mombasa. It is also in Kilimani and Westlands Primary Schools in Nairobi and Crater Primary School in Nakuru.
Future plan is that we wish that the whole country would use abracadabra because it has worked elsewhere and it has also worked within the schools that we have worked with the software. And so we are hoping that the government will embrace this software and we roll it out to most of the schools in the country.
I wish this laptop program could be on. I would even face the president and tell him the goodness of abracadabra, what it has done. They should also install the software in their program. It will go hand in hand with the curriculum.
The future of e-learning in Kenya is bright. We are embracing that. Looking at what the initiatives that the government too has had by introduction of the laptop project, that in itself tells you that the country is ready to go the e-learning way.
We're now at the Murumbi Gallery. Mururi, tell us a bit about Joseph Murumbi.
Apart from being the second vice president of Kenya, he was also a collector of African culture. Most of African culture has not been documented. It was passed from generation to generation via stories and creation of such artifacts as you see over here. This painting actually showcases Kenya. As you can see the flag over there, it shows our different climates. We practice agriculture, as you can see whatever is carried by the persons in the picture. Behind here we have a doctor, which is also part of our industry. We are also educated, and as much as we're educated, we still sort of try and preserve our culture. As you can notice the old houses, the olden houses, the huts behind here. We have snow in Kenya, we have greenlands in Kenya, we also have deserts in Kenya.
Wow, our very own Kenyan story told in one piece of art. Now, doing another person's job could be just the motivation you need to like your own. Check out how this week's candidate did on the job swap.
Today on Job Swap, we meet Lucy Minor. Now, Lucy is a photographer who runs her own studio, and she loves her job.
Smile. I've been doing photography for 2 years, 4 months now. I started as employment, but then I opened up my Favio photography, where I take family shots, graduation portraits. I studied mass communication in school, but I always wanted to be more of behind the camera. So I got to learn more about the camera now on the job.
So from our list of random people with completely different jobs, we decided to swap Lucy with...
Mimi ni Hudson Dirango Gachero. Mimi nauzaga magazeti. Wakati nilimaliza shule, gaonelea nikoje Nairobi nitafuta kazi. Nilienda kwa rafiki wangu, kamuuliza vizuri ya gazeti, gaonelea vizuri nianze hiyo kuuza gazeti. Wakati nilikuwa natoka shilingi 4. Kazi yangu naipenda kwa sababu nilianza zamani mpaka saa hii bado niko naye tu.
I wake up pretty early since most of the good shots are gotten in the morning, especially if I'm trying to do landscape. But if I'm not trying to do outside shots, I'll wake up, come to 5-year photography, where I wait for working clients. That is if I don't have a corporate job that I already have scheduled or a model portfolio.
Kazi yangu inaipenda kwa sababu ukiona mtu akianzisha kazi ya gazeti na maliza hiyo miaka yote, kazi yangu iko mzuri. Karibu kama 30 ama 20 something. Kwa sababu nilianza kuuza wakati ilikuwa natoka shilingi 4.
Uko tayari kwa swap?
Kazi nyingine sioni vizuri kwa sababu hiyo miaka ni mingi.
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible and I believe I can easily adapt to any environment.
I'm going to swap you with a newspaper vendor.
Mpiga picha.
Mpiga picha. Nitakuwa nikipata riziki kama vile mimi nauza gazeti.
I can sell papers.
Najua hapo mimi najiuliza swali ndio ni wachana na kazi ya gazeti.
Wait, is it on the street walking or is it you have a stall and
on the street?
Oh, on the street?
Yes.
I'll just make sure I smile at everybody.
And sell.
So on the day of the swap, I took Lucy to meet Hudson, and from there on, they had only one day to learn each other's job.
Unachukua nation? Unaishika namna hiyo? Kazi maone?
Oh, zote titles zake.
Titles zake. Na nataka uende na hii kazi.
After Ndirango got Lucy acquainted with selling newspapers and giving her a few tips on the job, it was Lucy's turn to wear Ndirango's shoes.
He taught me how the newspapers are sold and akanionyesha change na vitu kama hizo. So change ni muhimu sana.
Ni muhimu sana. Lakini customer ukiuzia customer usimweke, mrudishie change yake haraka sana.
Nation. Sina nation. Unaweza chukua standard? Anataka 50.
Nimekuja kuangalia hii kazi ambaye huyu rafiki wangu vile alikuwa naendelea. Alikuwa nasema hii ni kazi ambaye sio msito sana. Na mimi akanionyesha.
Mkono hii moja hapa kwa sababu ya kuweza kusupport.
Hapo hivi.
Wacha nikuite models wangu.
Ndio.
Unaweza practice nao kidogo.
Okay, alafu sasa ngisha
utaangalia utaweka macho hapo.
Ndio. Alafu ngishaweka nitafinya wapi?
Hapa juu.
Hii
hapa mbele.
Hapo mbele. Alafu baada hiyo
unaangalia hivi alafu unafinya hapo.
Basi nimesema asante, wacha kwanza nijaribu. Alafu ndio nione baadaye picha kama itatoka safi.
Kwanza kitu cha kwanza wacha nikwambie nipate kibarua ya kuwaketisha.
Kwanza
hapo utafutie pose nzuri.
Okay, sasa.
Unaona wako youth wanapenda vitu nzuri. So jaribu kufikiria unaweza wekaje vizuri.
Okay, ngoja kwanza nijaribu. Hebu ongea na customer mmoja uanze kumwambia kama unaweza kuuzia.
Lazima kweni mtu ambaye anataka kununua. So I was not very shocked, but it was a bit challenging. Sababu katikati ya traffic unaogopa gari zinaanza kusonga kukimbia na pengine sijazoea kidogo, lakini ilikuwa sawa.
While Lucy seemed to be struggling to get newspaper customers along Bunyala Road, Ndirango seemed to be having the time of his life at 5-year studio. He even spruced things up by introducing new poses to the models.
Wekera mkono juu ya nywele. Yaani hii ikae hivi na wewe hivi. Hebu mimi namwambia mimi ni mtu najua kazi. Sio mtu wa kuchezea vile mnaniona. Cheka.
I got to sell one newspaper. I can say that if on a given day I would be able to sell. Bana zimejaa hapa. Asante. I think the job is manageable. Ni nzuri, inaweza patia mtu riziki sababu nimepata watu wanauza kadha lakini pengine ni vile nilikuwa na hustles zingine. Multitasking of holding over here and holding this ones and getting change from my pocket was a bit of a hassle.
Ile ambaye nimeona ambaye yani haikunifurahisha kama mimi muuzaji kulingana vile nimezoea kuuza gazeti, hakuweza kushika gazeti na njia nzuri. Ameuza moja lakini inafaa yani aishike vizuri ama aongee na watu ambaye wale wengine ambaye wako ndani ya gari ndio wawe wakiona headline yote na njia inayofaa.
I really liked the photography. It was amazing. I love the photos. They are perfect and beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Unaona hata mimi mwenyewe ninajua mchezo. Yenyewe ni kazi safi. Hata mimi mwenyewe hata kama baba yangu alikuwa anaendelea naye katika kiukoo, mtu anaendelea na kazi ya baba yake ama ya brother yake ule mkubwa. Kwa hivyo ni kazi nzuri.
I could say it was different in terms of how he was handling them, because you have to make them feel like they're really welcome and you need to be warm around them, not just telling them to stand there. But he was still good because they did not notice, they liked him. So all I can say is that at the end of the day it was good.
I'm still on my tour of the archives and we head to the first floor of the building to see more. Did you know that this is the second largest Pan-African stamp collection in the world? The largest belonging to the British monarchy. What is the importance of stamps to a nation?
They showcase the different histories and they were the first, that actually among the first modes of delivering parcels from one point to another. For example, you'll see some of these collections. You see this is the Flying Doctor Service collection. It showcases the plane dropping the medicine which is collected by people, African people, and put on a mule and delivered to the different people amongst that region.
Interesting. Tazama now takes a short break. We'll be right back. Karibu tena. This may look like an ordinary library, but that is not the case. The Murumbi Library is a rare books library. Here you find books that you would not find anywhere else.
He was a collector of artifacts as well as books, very rare books which have very many values. For example, I think this is a book about Somalia again. It was published in 1890. Notice the color of the pages, it's brown in color, which shows this is a pulp that was gotten from the wood when it was mixed with whatever it was mixed with to bring about a brownish pulp. But this one, for example, was published in 1890 and it is still good today. You can see this is a publishing date. It was published in 1890 and it is still good today.
This library is open to the public, so you have no reason not to visit. As we sift through the books here, check out our next story.
Fred, Margaret and George are among people living with disabilities who are part of the Nakuru Sitting volleyball team. The team was started in June last year to encourage people living with disabilities to participate in sports.
Kwa ninakuja training after kazi jioni naenda kucheza sitting volleyball. Sikuwa najua kucheza, lakini nilikuwa na interest in case game kama ikitokea naweza play. Kama mimi as captain nacheza position zote. Tulipewa introduction kutoka kwa federation ya sitting volleyball Nairobi. Walikuja kwa counties ndio walianza kueneza. Ilikuwa Nairobi ndio walikuwa wanacheza peke yao. So walikuwa wanataka kueneza hiyo mchezo iweze kujulikana countrywide. so wakatuambia kwa kila county ndio wakatu approach. Sasa wenzetu ambao walijua maneno wakatuambia tukajisanya pamoja.
Kwa majina naitwa Florence Ofwenje na kocha wa asubuhi sitting volleyball. Volleyball ni my game. Ika, Shiro nipe hiyo ball. Rudi. Wewe.
Coach Florence trains the players while they are sitting down at Afraha Stadium every Tuesday and Thursday. The team is divided into two, Nakuru North and Nakuru West, though Florence coaches them as one team.
Difference tu ya standing ni wale wanasimama na hawa wanaketi. Lakini tofauti hakuna, hata kupenalize ni sawa. Ni ile tu hawa waizi inuka juu, wakiinuka juu apige magoti ni makosa. Lazima tumie rules za volleyball za kawaida tu ya pia standing vile wanatumia.
The team is made up of 24 players. That is the total of both men and women.
Shiro kuja huku shike balls. Come blocks. Neti ya sitting volleyball inatakana kutoka chini ikienda juu inatakana ikue 1.15 meters. Space yenyewe ni 12 meters the whole field. Alafu iko net inakata in between, ina divide 6 meters 6 meters.
The team has played and competed with 15 other teams from other counties.
Kwenye imenifikisha nimefika mpaka kwa national team. Mimi niko kwa Kenya team. Niko kwa Kenya team ambao tulikuwa juzi wenye walikuwa naenda Morocco.
Ile nyingine tumeachieve ni kuweza kuleta walemavu wote pamoja katika hizi sub counties mbili.
Some of the challenges the team faces is the players have difficulty attending practice. This is because majority of them do not live inside the town and sometimes lack fare to go to the stadium.
Saa zingine wakipata shida kama ugonjwa, hawana usaidizi. Sasa mtu akiwa na problem inatu stress sana.
Game mwenye it's an indoor game. Na ikiwa indoor game unakuta wakati wanacheza kukiwa na juu ile carpet inakuwa moto. Kisha kuwa moto inakuwa ni shida kuchezea hapo. Second wakati kunanyesha. Kukinyesha inakuwa tena ni shida. Hamwezi fanya mazoezi. Na kwa hivyo challenge yetu kubwa sana ni kuweza kupata hall.
According to the Kenyan Disability Act of 2003, the ministry responsible for sports shall, in consultation with the council, provide the necessary suitable environment including architectural infrastructure, apparatus and equipment, training and medical personnel, and transportation facilities for the participants, which are some of the things that this team should have.
Because of now the new system that came in, we were not able to directly access the money. Because now we have done a budget for the next financial year, and I was involved, my officers were involved. We have had that, we have that factored in. There is a donor who has come in. We are partnering with that donor to do for them the ground. And also we wanted to spread. We don't just want to be in Nakuru.
Despite these challenges, this team has continued to hold on for the love of this game. Today, the team is divided into two to compete between each other.
Now, at the end of the day, what will motivate them is for them to participate in other tournaments other than just being at their first stadium, other than maybe going to Nakuru, to Nairobi, because the national office has organized for a tournament. So at the end of the day, in the next financial year, at least we'll have one tournament for the sitting volleyballers, and we'll invite the other teams from the other counties.
Future yenye ninao hii team ni nataka wakuje wakuwe stars. Hii team inaweza kukupeleka mbali na inaweza kukuinua.
Inatupa kama sisi walemavu tumekuwa kitu kimoja.
Mtu akiwa na shida tunajua vile tutasaidiana kama team ya watu ambao wako hata tusemagi physically disabled. Tunasemaga people living with different challenges.
Tunafikiria mimi nilikuwa na stress fulani, tukikuja kucheza unaona unakutana na wenzao wenye mnashare mambo mengi.
Kwa physically niko fit sana. Even mentally, once ujua ukicheza huwezi kuwa idle sana.
Naona katika michezo tutaweza achieve a lot as a team.
After the competition, they head home waiting for Thursday to go for the volleyball practice again.
Mwiruri, thank you very much for the great tour.
You're welcome.
Now, I hope you have a richer understanding for the role that the National Archives plays in preserving our national heritage. For instance, this seat belonged to Kenya's first president, and it used to be ferried around during state functions. You can get to see this and more when you visit this massive resource. That brings us to the end of Tazama today. For any feedback, kindly reach us to the numbers appearing on your screen. Till then, endelea kutazama.